Hello Red Devils, MUFC Legend here and I'm back again with another video. So, Manchester United play Juventus in Turin in the Champions League, and we have to show a much better performance that we did against Juventus the first game and against Bournemouth. The performance wasn't that great, but we did get the result in the end. Against Bournemouth we won 2-1 thanks to Ander Herrera, who changed the game, but the goal came from Marcus Rashford. So we got the 3 points in the Premier League, but in Champions League we got no points against Juventus. We lost that match 1-0, and it wasn't a good performance by United. So at Juventus' ground, I'm not that confident because Juventus, they're one of the strongest teams at home in Europe, so it's going to be very difficult for Manchester United. So this is my predicted lineup for Manchester United, who play Juventus in the Champions League, Turin. David De Gea in goal, best goalkeeper in the world. I don't have to justify why David De Gea is in here. Neither do I have to justify why Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has been fantastic for us. Since the start of the season, he's come in and he's looked fantastic. He's looked like the left back we bought. So it's great to see him in form. And long may it continue. Luke Shaw straight in at left back. Then you got centre backs. We got Victor Lindelof, and in my opinion, I think Eric Bailly should be brought in. Chris Smalling made a lot of mistakes against Bournemouth, which ultimately did come to cost us in terms of the first half. Obviously, second half we did go out and win the game, but that masks over Smalling's performance, which was very, very poor. And I would love to see Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof given a chance together to prove that, Mourinho has bought these defenders for a reason. And, Bailly and Lindelof, I think, could form a great partnership, because Bailly is very, rash in terms of he's very aggressive, whereas Lindelof is the composed one. And these two, it's like Vidic and Rio, in my opinion. They could form that great partnership, and I want to see that against Juventus. Right back, we only have one choice, Ashley Young, because Antonio Valencia is injured, and Dalot, I think he's got an injury as well. So Ashley Young, he's the best of the worst we have in terms of because no one else is available. But if Dalot was fit, I would slot Dalot in a right back straight away. Now the one person that changed the game against Bournemouth was Ander Herrera, and he has to come into the side. In my opinion, he has to replace Matic and not Fred, because Fred, I think he made the most tackles in the first half, or in the game against Bournemouth, and Fred did look very, very good in terms of defensive play. Obviously, attacking play, he wasn't that great, Fred, but that's where Pogba comes in. But Ander Herrera has to start in the centre defence and mid position, in my opinion, alongside Paul Pogba and Fred. I think this midfield is probably one of our strongest midfields at the moment, because Matic is looking very, very poor. He's been in poor form, and I'm not sure why Mourinho hasn't dropped him yet. But I would bring in Ander Herrera, and I would keep Fred in the side alongside Paul Pogba. Left wing, Anthony Martial, he's been fantastic form for us. He's got 5 goals in 4 games. I think he scored in 3 consecutive matches, which is fantastic for Martial. It's great to see him in this form, and long may it continue. Right wing, I want to bring in Marcus Rashford. I think Mata against Bournemouth, he was very ineffective in my opinion. And we didn't play that good with Mata, because the main problem was that Mata doesn't track back enough. And when he does track back, it's very difficult for Mata to defend, because he can't defend that great. So I would love to see Marcus Rashford bring in, because he's got pace as well. That's one thing that Mata doesn't have that we lacked against Bournemouth. And when we brought Rashford in, he scored the winning goal. So I think Mourinho will start Marcus Rashford at right wing position. And in striker's position, I think Alexis Sanchez will probably start. We did look very fluid in our attack, with Sanchez in attack, and compared to Lukaku. Lukaku is just off form, and hopefully he does get his form back. Otherwise we need to replace him with the goal scorer. And in my opinion, Icardi would be a fantastic replacement for Lukaku. But at the moment, Alexis Sanchez, put him in striker's position alongside Rashford and Martial, with the stability of the midfield with Fred, Pogba and Herrera, and the defensive capabilities of Bailly and Lindelof, with Luke Shaw and David De Gea as a goalkeeper. So this team does look very strong on paper, but in reality, we know that Man United, we don't know which Man United will turn up. Will it be positive United? Will it be negative United? We're not sure. But I think this is probably our strongest teams at the moment, based on form. So David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Bailly, Young, Herrera, Fred, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, and Alexis Sanchez up front. It's been MUFC Legend. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.